Welcome to the Right Hype podcast. I'm your host, Gavon, and today we have an amazing guest. His name is Prince Adams. Prince is a Brooklyn-based creative and PR marketing professional, and he's all about amplifying diverse voices in art, fashion, and culture. His expertise and background is in brand management, strategic marketing, and event planning. Prince found New Noir as a dynamic platform that celebrates the vibrant diversity of modern life. New Noir curates unique experiences and is a storytelling platform to spotlight creativity, wellness, and entrepreneurship. Welcome to the Right Hype podcast, Prince.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the Right Hype.
We did an event last year in 2024. With our two brands came together in the bar in Flatbush to just celebrate creatives and networking, which was really fun.
The essence of the night was supposed to just be a conversation, like networking, being a lot of different creative people who I think may not have met or crossed paths, but I definitely feel like needed to be crossed. And I definitely loved having the aspect of the Right Hype being there to create this conversation with people. So I'm really excited for also everyone to see those conversations as well. It was a beautiful night. It was also a really good time to just celebrate and be at a Black-owned restaurant. Also have amazing sponsors who were people of color.
Tell me about New Noir.
New Noir was a passion project that came to me, I want to say 2019 going into 20 around COVID time. Something that I just wanted to do for myself, and especially like just growing up and wanting to work in fashion, wanting to work in art, wanting to work in PR, and all the different lessons and all the different things I've done and people that I've met have kind of all helped me foster this passion dream. So rewinding, going back to like just college and where I actually understood what PR and marketing was and what makes a brand through some of the internships I've had, some of the professors I had. I went to North Carolina A&T University at E25, where I really got to see a lot of Black-owned businesses that were inspiring. And I think one of the first brands that inspired me was this magazine that we had. A friend of mine, Michael Thomas, created the Ag Mag short. And in essence, the Ag Mag just represented the underdogs of going from HBCU. All the creatives, all the artists, just amplifying all those different voices and really just giving me a chance to work for a platform that can amplify these voices. We had people who, in college, you're so inspired and you want to do these things and you want to write and you want to be in magazines, you want to be in fashion, but this was like a place for people to actually exercise and try these things. So with that and working closely with Michael, I really got to understand what makes a brand without any limits or without any voices or without working for the big man, I guess. And I think it also kind of just inspired me to really look outside of just going into like corporate PR, going for like a corporate brand. I worked with some boutiques in Soho. And they helped me a lot trying to understand, especially like a local brand or a smaller brand. Also working with Kelly Cushon for People's Revolution. That was one of my first like real PR internships where I got to work with a lot of smaller brands and just understanding like, even if you don't have the backing, you don't have the funds, if you have just the inspiration, if you just believe in yourself, you can make this. So along with all those things and along with all the things I collected, I really just wanted to make something that was my own. I didn't have any particular goal with it. I just knew that I wanted to do something for my peers. I wanted to amplify some type of voice that I can relate to and others that felt the same way can relate to as well. I'm a big vision board person. So a lot of my inspirations come from me just putting together vision boards through Tumblr or Pinterest, and sort of the New Noir Instagram page started just as that. It was a lot of just Black artists that inspired me, from like Roman Bearden, a lot of different like Black designers that inspired me. I just wanted to showcase that work. And I don't even think I even told a lot of friends when I first started it. It really was just like a passion project. I just wanted to see like, what can my reach be? What do I recall from all these internships and jobs? It's like how to work social media. What can I do to see if I can actually make a brand myself through Instagram? Especially during a time when 2020 was COVID. Not much is happening. All we had really was social media to stay connected. So with that, I decided to continue to post all of my beautiful inspirations, post all the beautiful like words that I found, all the beautiful art that I found. And then later, after seeing the following grow, I think I like within like maybe the first couple months, I maybe got like 300 followers. And for me, that was a lot. So I was like, okay, people are actually looking, people are reading, are, looking at the articles. And from that, I decided to invest in myself. So like I said, I started from an Instagram, made this little website. Everybody was like, okay, you're investing in yourself. Like this needs to turn into some type of business. And even if it's not a business, just a platform. So that's where newnoir.com came. And from newnoir.com, it extended past just post or inspirational posts, and more so went into articles. So I started to write different articles on just things that inspired me, such as like healthy eating tips, skincare tips. And that's where the Skin Letter came, where I wanted to interview people of their AM and PM routines, just simple 5 steps, 10 steps, 15 steps, whatever it was. I wanted to hear other people who I either was inspired by or friends I knew who I was like, yo, Grace, Skin, I want you to talk about it. So that's kind of where the Skin Letter came from. Another one of my loves was being healthy. So I had a friend who wanted to write, was interested in writing about health things. And we started to have articles on just like healthy eating habits, healthy workout habits, and just something that again was like not too strenuous or something too crazy, because at the end of the day, New Noir is not men's health. We're not a guru on health, but these are the things that I am inspired by, things that I like: health, fitness, skincare, art, Black designers, Black voices. And with that came more articles. And then I started doing spotlights. And then one of my first few spotlights were Vince Smith, a friend of mine who is a stylist, who was really really like his career was pushing off. He was starting to really do a lot of celebrity styling in LA. So I kind of wanted to get an inside scoop on who are you? What can you inspire other people or other readers who might be interested in wanting to be stylists, who don't know how to get into it, or don't feel like they have the resources to do it. So started with that. I did another associate of mine where he's a blogger for YouTube. And so I just wanted to amplify his voice. What can you tell people, for other girlies who want to start a YouTube channel, who don't know what the steps are, and so forth. And then after that, I just continued working with interviewing different business owners. Or, for instance, like my friend Destiny, she started multiple businesses she has. She's a model. On top of that, she manages herself. On top of that, she started a traveling company. And then now she also does, I think, restaurant reviews, where you can like join her membership. You can get all these like advice. You can also get discounts and stuff like that. So it was just nice to just like not only talk about the things that inspire me, but also what inspire people and how to amplify that and show other people that like you don't have to be in this one niche. And it also ties back to the original, or the name of Noir, which in French means bear black. And I wanted to really just start out the bear and just the bear, BARE people. The bear black, and show people this is like a clean slate. Like, let's build it up, let's amplify. Like, I don't want to really box it in fashion brand. I don't really want to box it into a newsletter. I just wanted it to be the things that inspire me, and then that can also inspire other people.
Those types of platforms, some of them I follow, and I actually turn on my notifications because of the nature of the content is super motivating or inspirational. We've used social media to create spaces that are there to uplift, of course, and amplify, like you said, all of those good things, because especially in a time right now where it's the beginning of 2025 and it's probably not the way that we all want it to be, we're able to like populate these digital and physical spaces and like fill it with things that we like. I always admired that about the New Noir. So I want to talk to you about PR, because you said you worked for Kelly Cutrone.
Yeah. So when I moved to New York post-college, I literally, after my lease was done, I packed my Nissan Sentra and just drove up here. And the grace of my my dear grandmother, rest in peace, I stayed with her in New Jersey. And so I knew nothing about New York. I knew nothing about how to get around New York as an adult. So I literally, like I said, with the prayer, I loved watching The City all through high school, and again in college, and again post-college. I rewatched The City. I was just so inspired by and also, of course, knowing Kelly Cutrone is outside of that, and then all the amazing work she did, especially in the 90s for designers, specifically Jeremy Scott, being a judge because they're top model. But specifically in The City, I was inspired because that's something I really wanted to do, or that was my scope on PR. I was just so driven to do fashion PR. So working for Kelly Cutrone and seeing what her business did was they didn't just do fashion shows. They did behind the scenes for photo shoots, for cover shoots. They also did pop-ups. They traveled with the artists. It just showed like this expansion of what PR can do, or at least what I wanted to do with PR. So when I moved here, I was set. Nobody could tell me not what to do. I couldn't do it. My grandmother at the time was just like, why are you going to New York? It's scary. You don't even know what's happening. The news just good. The train, someone's on the train going crazy. That's fine. I will jump over that crazy person because I have to meet Kelly Cutrone somehow, some way. So I found my way to the New Jersey Transit. If y'all are familiar with the New Jersey Transit, bless your hearts. I found my way there. Ended up, Googling her office. And I don't know, people now, this is probably sound creepy and insane, but when I tell you I was a child with a dream, I needed to be done. So I didn't have a job or anything at the time. I literally took whatever money I had, got on the train, went to World Trade Center to look around. I'm like asking people, how do I get to Soho? How do I get to Soho? No one's helping me. And this is before, this is like years ago when at the time, like no one's phone was working underground and there wasn't Wi-Fi in the subway. So I literally had to go look around, like screenshot each step by step of how to get to this lady's office. So I went there. Well, first, of course, stopped at Staples to get printouts of my resume. I think I got like 10 copies because at this point I was in Salt. I needed to just get my resume to everyone just in case if this didn't work out. However, I found her office, rang the doorbell, didn't know what to expect, but they buzzed me in. I'm sure they thought I was like the food delivery guy or just like somebody stylist bringing something. I was greeted by an intern, and I'm thankful for this intern greeting me because I don't know what I would have done if I would have saw Kelly. So he took my resume and he was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "I'm here to apply to be an intern. Like, I will literally be whatever. I'll be an assistant, I'll be an intern. But here's my resume. My name is Prince Adams. This is what I've done." I think at the time I didn't even really have any PR experience. I think the closest thing I had was working at a local theater in Greensboro, North Carolina, as a marketing intern. Nothing related to fashion. I did a college fashion show, but I just finagled my resume to make it seem like you need me and I need you. So next thing I know, I was walking down the street, went to Starbucks to try to apply for some more jobs. And I got an email saying, "Hi, Kelly would like to interview you." Literally the next day, I met with her. I then during the interview found out this was like during the time where nobody in New York was paying interns. So, and if they hear this now, if Kelly Cutrone just happens to hear this soon, she will know that I was lying about being a student. About the time you had to be a student to be an intern because they weren't paying interns. And, she was already going through a lot of stuff in the press, and this was just one last thing she didn't need to go through. So I had my advisor at the time, Michelle Lord, rest in peace. She was my confidant in everything I did moving to New York. And she just really helped and inspired me to keep on. And honestly, one of the people to keep me going in my first year in New York when I didn't know what was happening. So when I found out I needed to be a student, she wrote this letter for me, basically saying that I was, taking credit for like my last year project, or something along those lines. And next thing I knew, they gave me my start date, and I was working every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think. So for the next, I guess, semester, I literally worked for them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would leave from Central New Jersey, 6 o'clock in the morning, and be there by like 8 and work there every day. And there, I kind of just wanted to be a sponge. I wanted to like learn everything from her. Excuse me. In the early days, I didn't really work that closely with Kelly just because, she was the big boss and we were just the interns. And the next person in command was her assistant. So if we need anything, we mostly do stuff through her. However, the times that I did get to speak with Kelly, nothing but the opposite of what people see or get from her. I think, especially with being on TV, I think there's a special persona, especially being with fashion. I mean, like a lot of these higher ranked women in the fashion world definitely don't get the best rap. I think just because they have to assert themselves in a certain way, especially to be taken seriously. And especially in like a male dominated world like PR. And it was just honestly everything I wanted. Like I learned so many different gems. One specific story I can recall where I specifically one-on-one worked with Kelly was we were setting up for New York Fashion Week show. It was my first New York Fashion Week show. Never worked one in my life. And we literally were in her office until 3 a.m, going through seating charts, going through photographer roles, what photographer is going to be there, where are we going to insert in different publications. I also did that as well. I learned how to do press releases with her. I learned how to do media outreach with them. She really taught me how to really run the business. To honestly, where she told me herself, right, if I wasn't able to do this, Prince, or something, I need you to be able to back up and do all of this for me. And of course, I took this so seriously. And when I tell you, I learned the people's names, I learned the photographers' names, I learned the location, I learned every majority of the models' names. And that's why I also really learned that I liked working behind the scenes of a fashion show. I liked figuring those relationships with the makeup artists, the models, the designer, because essentially those are the most important people. Those 7 to 15 minutes of the show, those are the people who are helping run the show. And if they're not feeling the best, and if they're not inspired, then what are you doing? And that was one of her biggest pushes too. She always wanted to make people remember that you're the show. It's not about you specifically being the model, but you're the one that's highlighting these moments. You're the one that's wearing these garments. You're the one that's speaking for the designer. And I believe my first show with her was the Amelia show. And that was just everything to me because it wasn't like your normal fashion show. It wasn't like your gowns. It was more so about the women's anatomy. So everything basically kind of resembled the pearl. So from the gowns to the dresses to the makeup, everything was about this. And it was just so cutting edge because, you know, you go to a fashion week show and everyone, it's just so prim so proper and the music is so whimsical or, you know, on trend. And with this one, they did a mix of Disney. It was like, I think it was like Once Upon a Dream, but on top of it, I think they did Anytime That I Want. And it was just this like crazy moment. This is what I want to do. So I did it for a while, even past the semester where we were supposed to be for students. And she didn't notice for a while. She just thought like, oh, Prince is just coming to the office. He's helping out. Again, she wasn't paying me. So I worked like 2 other jobs outside of that. I'm working for this men's boutique down the street around the corner. So if I needed to go back, if she needed me, I'd be right there. And then also H&M in New Jersey. So I was just really doing a lot that first year to really just like establish myself, make money, and do a lot of stuff I was doing on my own, but like just absorbing what I can. She's passionate about her job. She's passionate about what she believes in. And she's a little kooky. It reads in that. And I think that's the misunderstanding that people just don't understand who she is. But she's a genius. She could be off the wall. She's a little off the cuff, but she's somebody who I sought out and wanted to learn from, and I went after it. And I kind of just pivoted my career. I do want to say after that, so I finally ended, I think, so the semester ends in December. I think I stopped right at the end of January when she finally noticed, like, Prince, what are you doing here? Like, you can't work for free. But in my mind, I'm like, yes, I can do whatever you want. Like, I'm here. So she was kind. Of course, she did pay me at the end, which is really cool. And then I sent her a beautiful thank you letter, just letting her know how, you know, I always wanted to do this. I was in work with her since high school. This is just a dream come true. I like this beautiful flowers. And then after that, we still kept in contact. We're like, she'll invite me to some of her fashion shows, which I think is really sweet. And sometimes we'll contact each other through like Instagram, but she kind of pivoted. I do want to say that after that for a while, for months, I would get all these interviews and I would get all these like reach outs, but honestly, the majority of them wanted to interview me just to find out how it was working for Kelly Control. Really, that was like the first question they would always ask me. You just wanted to know about Kelly Control. So that was always annoying.
For someone who doesn't know what PR is or hasn't really worked in it, what is PR?
PR is the overall image and the perception that people are getting. For example, there's like one of the biggest campaigns in America, which is the downfall of people's health, but with cigarettes. And one of the first big campaigns was in New York where basically this man, I should know his name, but this man basically had all these beautiful models in New York come down. I want to say it's on 34th Street and basically just walk down with a bunch of cigarettes. Everyone was smoking a cigarette. All these pretty models were walking down, walking cigarettes. All he has to do is call them up. I don't even think he spent much money for that. And next thing you knew, everyone in America was smoking a cigarette. And I think that's what's so great about PR is because it's more so about the publicity. Brands or designers that you're representing don't have the money, and it's your job to help them bring in the money. Social media is a big impact tool. A lot of events and then coordinating pop-ups really help. I think it's so popular now. I don't know if it's ever going to go away. I think pop-ups are really something that helps a brand be tangible. It's reachable. So like, for example, I don't know if you saw recently Welch's had a pop-up where basically they were telling people to follow them on Instagram, come to the store, and you get 2 items for free, merch included or a drink. And then, because you know this whole craze, everyone loves a speakeasy, they had a speakeasy for people who are 21 and up, and you can get like a Welch's cocktail. So I think a lot of the things with PR that's really popular now, and I think what a lot of agencies or in-house people are doing are using social media, user engagement, and pop-ups and events, especially in a time where pictures a lot. Everyone needs a picture. Everyone needs content. I know it's changed over the years, especially in media. And I think a lot of PR for the longest, and especially how I was taught, was print was the way. Print and publications were the way. I do like that. I did learn from a lot of my professors worked in PR for decades. So they kind of knew what started PR, like how it was working for Johnson & Johnson. It was like working for Nike, where they didn't have all these pop-ups, and most of the things that they did was wording and spinning. And spinning, if no one knows what spinning is, literally spinning is spinning the brand. Like, if you said the sky was blue, how can we make blue the best color? And I think a lot, especially with PR, is a lot of wording. Like I said, now it's digital, but it really is wording. Especially how, for example, Popeyes, great example. Popeyes and their PR, how nobody was thinking about Popeyes chicken sandwich. We're mostly all looking for Chick-fil-A, and out of somewhere overnight, boom, we got chicken sandwiches. And then when that died down, we had Don Julio collaboration with Popeyes chicken sandwiches. So it's all about like reaching that person, people in the target audience, and what's the need at the time. Do we need chicken sandwiches now? But it's something fun. Who isn't thinking about it ever since they thought about like what Don Julio chicken sandwiches, or a chicken sandwich that could be spicy and not spicy, that's not Chick-fil-A. So yeah.
My other question is, if I have a small business, or if I have a platform with an audience, do I need a publicist?
I think that could be really determined on like what your goals are. So if you want to, build brand awareness or get some type of media coverage, I definitely would go for a PR agency or PR consultant. It all goes down to like what your goal is as a small business.
Brand awareness versus revenue driving is a helpful sort of delineation. What do you think is a good way for a small business to engage with consulting?
One, go to someone that you may know in your circle before going to a big agency, because these big agencies will charge you so much money, especially if they're a good consultant. No one's going to like gatekeep. Especially for your niche. Because I mean, there's so many different branches of PR. There's, there's health PR, there's fashion PR, there's media PR, there's sports PR. There's so many different things. So like finding that certain publicist or that certain agency that matches your niche is important. What is your essential goal? What value do you want to add to the space? That's why I like working, especially with a lot of these queer events and prides, because there's a common goal of community there. And it's nice to know that the goal isn't just about making money. Sometimes the goal is just bringing a community there. And if that's your goal and that's what success looks like, that's what it is. I feel like a lot of people have PR in them already, naturally. People can be their own publicists. And you low-key are when you're posting on Instagram, when you are posting the content that you want other people to see of yourself, you're already doing your own publicity. So think about that too, like just how you want yourself to be represented, no matter how you want to represent yourself. What is the takeaway?
I co-sign a lot of what you said. Are there any notable moments in your career?
Jacked is one of the top queer dating apps in not only America, but in Latam, in Asia, and Europe. Going into the business at the time, there wasn't really many people who worked for the company that reflected me or the user. And going into that space and, being a user, I was so excited to just really showcase what I felt and what other people I know who use the app look like, feel like, act like, and what they're doing. So I would say during that time and working closely with my coworkers, my manager at the time, Livingston, and Tyrus Townsend, who's our social media manager, all three of us were Black queer men from not huge cities. We didn't come from huge cities. So we understood what it looked like for the queer culture not in major cities and how to represent those people and what those people looked like. That they weren't just these hot, looking men, that in the year 2024, we have trans men, trans women, we have big, short, tall, people, all these different shapes and all these different colors of rainbows that represent us. I would say my whole time there was pretty noticeable. Some of the things that I can just highlight are our first campaign that we did when we did the version 7 rebrand, which to this day, if you look on the Google App Store, the Apple Store, and the new website, we really changed the look and feel of what Jack represented and what the people looked like. But we had to put our foot down because just like how a lot of these other brands like Grindr, that like Swifties, like these other places that don't really highlight the different colors that we needed the same type of budget and we needed the same type of professional production team. And we did. And we have this amazing work that we can all put in our portfolio.
Well, thank you, Prince, for coming on to the Right Hype. It was a pleasure to talk to you about your career, your insight onto the PR industry, and just leaving us with a little bit of encouragement right now. So thank you so much, and can't wait to have you on in the future.
Seeing you there for another One Nights and Right Hype.
Yes, stay tuned.